The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. Today and tomorrow are yet to be said.
Hello everyone, this is No Mortal Consequence, back again with a new video. This is episode 20 in a series which recounts my ongoing Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which is now in its 9th year. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like button. As always, spoiler alert, in this video I will be revealing details about this adventure module. But having said that, let me stop and say a word about that topic. So far in this video series, I've stuck pretty close to the module as written. However, in the second half of the adventure, I made some significant changes. So what you will see in this video series going forward will not match exactly what's written in the module. So if you've read it or do read it or go through the module, whatever, there's going to be some differences than what you may have seen or experienced. Alright, so where we left off last time, the characters had traveled to the city of Verbabunk to have Thorol the mage resurrected, and after spending a couple of days in there, they returned back to the village of Hamlet. And just as a reminder, this is the current makeup of the adventuring party. So having finished off the first and second levels of the temple, the characters decided to move on to the third level, and they decided to get there by a stairway that they had previously found, which was located near the fire elemental temple. So not long after getting down there, they found a circular room that had obviously been used for magic research. However, just poking around, they could tell that it didn't look like that it had been used any time in the recent past. And Thorol found a few things to take with him, but there wasn't really a whole lot of value here. So, moving on to the west, they found another door. And opening this door, they saw that it led to a wide, narrow room that appeared to be like a foyer or an antechamber to a larger room beyond. So moving into that area, they could see that it appeared to be another type of magic research room. However, before they had a chance to really look at anything, a roper that was hidden among the furniture came out and attacked the party. And it did not take long before several of the characters were ensnared by the roper's tentacles, and it began dragging them in towards its big tooth-filled mouth. And pretty soon, the entire party, except for Thorol, had been wrapped up by a tentacle and were busy trying to break free from the thing. One of the characters got bit at this point. You can see the damage roll there on the in the chat window of that screenshot. I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Varys who got bit, or it might have been Niobe. I'm not sure. And Aramis managed to break free and then tried to attack the thing, but you can see he rolled a fumble there, so much for that. But eventually some of the other characters managed to get free, and soon they were able to defeat the thing. So now that they had a chance to explore the room, Thorol found an alcove on the eastern end that had a lot of books and scrolls, and so he started poking around in there looking for potential magic user scrolls. But unfortunately, he found a curse scroll, and as soon as he tried to look at it, it summoned some type of demon, which immediately began attacking him. And so he quickly fell back, while some of the other characters moved up to start fighting the thing. And you can see in this screenshot, I rolled a critical hit, and that was against Obrak. And it had the potential to do some significant damage, but you can see my roll there at the bottom edge of the screenshot, and so Obrak got off lucky with that one. And it didn't take much longer after that the characters were able to defeat the thing and send it back screaming to the abyss. So after that fight with the demon, the characters decided they'd had enough for one day, went back to Hamlet, and spent the evening sitting around the table and telling Elmo their latest adventures. Next morning, the characters returned back to the third dungeon level of the temple, and they soon came across a door. This one was interesting, though, in that it was barred from the outside, and also a thin strip of silver had been hammered into the gap between the door and the frame. So obviously they couldn't let that go, so the characters managed to get the door open. Garrett had to pick the lock that was holding the bar in place. So they got inside and found a very unusually shaped room. And in that room were two shrines, one of which was dedicated to St. Cuthbert, and the other one was dedicated to Foltus. And Nio inspected these shrines, especially the St. Cuthbert shrine, and she verified that these were actual authentic shrines and not just, evil fakes, which the characters thought that was obviously unusual, given that they're in the Temple of Elemental Evil. So they started looking around closer, and Obrak soon figured out that the Temple of St. Cuthbert, that altar piece, could actually be moved. It would slide across the floor somewhat. So the characters did that and found behind it a concealed door, and it opened up into a hexagonal room, and it did not look like anyone had been here for a very long time. There were cobwebs around on the walls and the floor, and as you can see in the screenshot, in the center of the room was a raised pedestal area, and on top of that was a stone sarcophagus holding a coffin, and inside the coffin was a body that appeared to be a vampire, and it had a wooden stake driven through its heart, and nearby was the obvious lid of the coffin, or the sarcophagus, and on the lid was a piece of paper which had a brief note that essentially said that the people who had been here before, they were unable to lift the stone lid of the sarcophagus. It was too heavy, so they asked whoever found this note to please put the lid back on the sarcophagus and seal the vampire inside forever. So something about this room just seemed kind of strange, and the characters explored around some more, didn't really find anything, but they weren't sure what to make of this whole vampire thing. And finally, Niobe cast a detect evil spell, and but she couldn't detect anything evil about this body in the sarcophagus. It wasn't radiating evil at all, despite appearing to be a vampire. So finally, Aramis just decided to pull the wooden stake out of the body's chest and see what happened. And as soon as he did so, the illusion of a vampire was dispelled, and instead, lying in the coffin was a handsome looking male clad human with golden hair and wearing a surcoat bearing the heraldry devices of the nations of Furiandi and Valuna. And also, as soon as Aramis pulled the stake out, the body began to stir and was soon awake from what was clearly a magically induced sleep. The the person stood up in the sarcophagus, looked around, and he introduced himself as Prince Thrommel, Grand Marshal of Furiandi, Provost of Veluna, Paladin Lord. And he told the characters that his last memory was that he had been attacked while he was traveling, he'd been attacked on the road by a large band of red-robed men. And he asked the characters how long he had been down here, and of course they didn't know, but they told him the current date. And he then realized that he had been down here, and then obviously therefore missing for about 3.5 years. So he immediately asked the characters, where they were. They told him, and the area they were located in, southern Verbabank, and he asked the characters to lead him out of this place and to the nearest settlement, saying that it was urgent that he return to his homeland as quickly as possible. So the characters abandoned any further exploring of the temple for the day and took him back to Hamlet. And once they got back to Hamlet, Prince Thrommel asked the characters for the loan of a horse. But you'll remember a few episodes back, all their horses had been stolen when they got captured, and they didn't have any. However, they did have some money, so they were able to purchase a horse from someone here in Hamlet, and they gave it to Prince Thrommel, and they also bought some provisions that would be sufficient to get him back to where he was going. And in return, Prince Thrommel gave Aramis a gold medallion engraved with the coat of arms of Furiandi. And he also gave to Niobe a gold ring that was engraved with the same emblem. And but he also told the entire group that he would not forget their kindness and help, and that once he got back home, he would make arrangements to have all of them suitably rewarded. And so with that, he wheeled his horse around and exited the inn courtyard and thundered off up the road to the north at a full gallop. So the next day, the characters returned to the temple and started exploring in a different direction, and they soon found a trash-filled room that was clearly a dumping ground for activities going on elsewhere, but nothing of interest. So moving on, they found another room, and it appeared to be a trophy room from the temple's past days of glory. It looked like it had been ransacked, but there were still some stuffed heads of monsters and other trophies mounted on the walls. So the characters entered the room to explore further, because there was a display case against the opposite wall, but as soon as most of them got in there, a large creature, a manta ray-like creature that was concealed on the ceiling, dropped down, trying to trap the characters. And Obrak and Varys managed to jump out of the way in time, but Nio was trapped beneath the creature. And unfortunately, you can see there in the chat window some bad rolls from the characters, some fumbles, and which delayed their efforts to kill the thing and free Nio. But finally, they managed to do that just before she would have otherwise been suffocated by the thing. So they got her out of there. Then moving on to a different area, the characters found a short flight of stairs going down, not so far down as to lead to another level. It was just a short flight leading to a landing. And at the bottom of that, they found an iron door. However, it was locked and there was no keyhole or even a handle on this side. So there was no way to pick it, and being a metal door, they didn't want to try to knock it down, break it down. So for the time being, they decided to just leave this door alone. Alright, well, that's all I have for now. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like button, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, leave some comments. Comments are good, and I always read comments, and if I can, I will respond to any comments that people make. So please consider doing that, and also sharing the video anywhere else where you think people might like it, and anything you can do to help support the channel, I appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye for now.